out there. Don't know if you can see them. Pretty far out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be traveling with two other motorcyclists. You'll be able to see their lights in my rearview mirror from time to time. And also my wife is traveling pillion, so there's the four of us on this journey. And we're heading to the Sunshine Coast on a 4-day trip. The Sunshine Coast is a beautiful but fairly isolated area considering how close it is to Greater Vancouver. The mountains and this ocean makes this area difficult to access. In fact, there's no roads that lead there directly. You have to take ferries or planes to get there. And that makes it all the more appealing for a certain set of people who like to be near to civilization, but away from it at the same time. It attracts artists and artisans and people of that ilk. So it's a very interesting place to visit, and that's what we aim to do. So as usual, we left Greater Victoria, headed up island towards Duncan. We avoided the highway for a little bit, but you can't avoid too much of it as we headed past Nanaimo and Parksville and on to Comox, where the ferry would take us across to Powell River, our final destination for the day. Well, it was a beautiful day and we were in no real rush. So rather than just take the highway all the way up island, we looked for little places we could go for a little bit more excitement. So here we're taking Mill Bay Road and riding along the ocean front. And you can see people have parked their cars here and gone to the beach, though there's not a huge beach here. It's still nice to get out and enjoy a picnic and see the sun in the water. Beautiful. Next up is the little village of Cowichan Bay, affectionately known by the locals as Cow Bay. It's just a little strip of restaurants and art shops and some boating things mostly from times past. And it's developed quite a reputation as a little place to come and browse and walk around and get a bite to eat and enjoy the sun. There's a sign there for whale watching. There's a lot of whale watching around this part of. It's mostly orcas, although there are a few other whales as well. Lots of people out and about, which is great. Yeah, I'm nearly at the end of it now. So it's not large, but yeah, it's a nice place to come and visit. Staying on the backcountry roads for as long as we can, we decided to go through the Cowichan River Delta. Here we are crossing one branch of the river as it meanders into the ocean. I suspect many people just blast up the highway and never see these sights. I really like investigating country roads and just seeing what's out there. Ladysmith is a quaint little town. It's got a couple of good things going for it. One, it's just the right distance from Victoria for a pit stop. And so it's got a lot of little fast food restaurants and little coffee shops and things. And it's got the Old Town Bakery, which has become quite famous for its cinnamon buns and other bakery treats. And that's where we're headed right now. It's also got Transfer Beach, which is right on the water, and it's a good place for just lying out in the grass and enjoying the sun, maybe eating some of that food you just bought. The other thing about Ladysmith is it's basically right on the 49th parallel. Now, for those who don't know, the 49th parallel is the main indicator between the US and Canada. It's the long line that defines the border, except on Vancouver Island, which was granted to Canada due to historical context. So Ladysmith has a lot of interesting characteristics, and it's just got a nice sort of older town feel to it. After Ladysmith, it's quite a long haul on the highway to get to Comox, where we'll take the ferry to the Sunshine Coast. So maybe now is a good time to introduce the bikes we're using. One of my friends has the BMW F850GS. It's a pretty powerful bike, and his wife is on a Triumph Tiger 900 GT, another powerful bike. Then it's my wife and me, two up on my 2009 Suzuki V-Strom 650. Not what anyone would call a powerful bike, but you know, it's powerful enough. Even two up, loaded with bags, it really handles the highway speeds just fine. I've really loved this bike, and if I sound a little envious of these great newer adventure bikes, well, maybe I am, but I still love my 650 V-Strom, and it always gets me where I need to go. Downtown Comox. After Comox, it's just a 10 or maybe 15-minute ride out to the ferries, and it's on peaceful country roads. It's interesting how even Comox, which is very small by Victoria standards, can be quite busy in the downtown core with lots of vehicles and people walking around. Well, we're here at the ferry terminal. You can see the ferries here.
You guys can head down there.
Okay.
Just drive down in this lane. You'll wait behind the line. Down there.
If you don't know, one of the great things about motorcycles in the BC ferries system is motorcycles get loaded first, and you don't have to have reservations to make the ferries, so it's a great service. And they do it because the bikes don't take up that much room. It can be squished into the corners and stuff, so it's easy to fit them in. So it doesn't look like we're getting that far ahead actually, but this is the assured boarding line. So this is the line for people that are reserved on the ferries and are guaranteed to get on. Well, now that we're all settled on the ferry and heading across to Powell River, I thought I would explore a little bit, try to get a scenic viewpoint. The ferry ride is going across the Strait of Georgia. It takes about an hour and 20 minutes to go across. Today is just a beautiful sunny day. The water is nice and flat, and hardly a cloud in the sky. There. Don't know if you can see them. Pretty far out. I was so excited when I was taking this video and so disappointed when I looked at what the GoPro had reproduced. It's just not set up to take long-range photos. And if you have the eyes of an eagle perhaps, you'll be able to see little plumes of white where the whales' blowholes are blowing out water into the sky. But it is faint. I could barely see it when I was carefully examining the frames. So, unfortunate, but there were some whales out there and I could see them easily with my own eyes. Just the GoPro let me down in this case. Here we are on the ferry, getting ready to enter Powell River. After the ferry, it was just a short ride to the north side of Powell River. And here we are, arriving at our hotel for the night. But it's not our final stop, because there was something going on in Powell River, and I'll get to that in a minute. And here's our room for the night. For the next 2 nights, actually. And outside the room, we've got tables, view of the ocean. So after settling in, we returned to Powell River because, unbeknownst to us, we had arrived on the day of the annual Blackberry Festival, the big event in Powell River. There was a lot of street food and musicians and the general things that you find in little country fairs, but they also had a lot of these classic cars. Boy, a lot of them are in really good shape. You can tell the owners had a lot of pride in them. After enjoying some street food, we returned to our lodging, parked our bikes, then headed down to the water just outside our hotel and enjoyed this beautiful sunset. Well, this was day 1 of our 4-day trip. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and look forward to seeing you next time.